Hi, so this is my latest vulnerability episode, day 10. It's January 10th, 2016. And there is a woman out there who was asking for help going through a breakup. And so this is sort of my own vulnerability as a way to hopefully help her. So the situation is that this guy felt really smothered and he's sort of ended it. He doesn't want to talk to her anymore. He's really overwhelmed and she's having a difficult time coping. And I've been in that situation before. We'll call this guy Bob. I had a relationship a few years ago and Bob completely shattered my heart. Everyone I know thought we were going to be married. He had introduced me to his family. They loved me. His dog loved me. I loved them. Truthfully, I probably loved his family and his dog more than I loved him. It felt like a bigger loss losing those connections than him at the end, but that's regardless. But in previous relationships, I had, there was one where I felt really, the guy was just really emotionally unavailable, and that caused all of these like crazy triggers. And I would call, like, he just disappeared. We'd been dating for like 6 months or whatever, and he just disappeared. And so I called him, and every time I called him, I felt a little bit worse. And so what happens when someone says, I don't want to talk to you anymore, and we keep calling them or texting them, or we say, fine, I'm never going to speak to you again, and then we do. What happens is not only does that person lose respect for us, but we start to erode our own self-respect. Because we can't trust ourselves to follow through on the things that we say we're going to do, right? And that's a very slippery slope, because as our self-respect starts to erode, we push people farther and farther away. We put ourselves in situations where we're more likely to become victims of not very nice people. And the healthy people, they don't want to be around us because it's so overwhelming. And really, how can you have respect for someone who doesn't have respect for themselves, right? So there's this a technique, a skill that my therapist helped me with. This is a cognitive behavioral therapy skill and a dialectical behavioral therapy skill, and it's called radical acceptance. So you might want to Google it, radical acceptance skill. And we're not saying that it's okay. We're not saying it's okay that this person was mean or that this person abandoned us or whatever the situation, that we lost our job or anything bad that's happening. We're not saying that it's okay or that we're happy about it or even that we forgive the person. What we're saying is that this is how it is right now. And as terrible as that feels, I'm going to have to find a way to get through it. Because if we can't accept something, then that's when we continue to reach out. We might damage our self-respect or the respect other people have for us because we can't accept it. So we keep reaching out, talk to me. It's not over when it is for that person. So I'm just going to walk you through how I used it, how my therapist suggested that I use it. We'll call this guy Bob. So I would say, whenever I had the urge to reach out to him, I would say, my relationship with Bob is over. And it sucks. And however I was feeling, and it makes me feel like my heart is crushing. My relationship with Bob is over. And I would say it again and again and again, louder and louder if I was alone. And I would just affirm, my relationship with Bob is over and it sucks and I'm going to get through it. And what happens is that over time, the urges to connect with this person subside. It's something that you can use for addictions as well. I've made a video about urge surfing on this channel. And again, it's kind of, they're related skills, because what you're doing is you're reducing the suffering. It doesn't change the circumstance. And later on, maybe you can do something to fix that or change things in your life. But right now, being in denial about something or causing more drama and pain for you or the other person is not going to make things right. It's not going to make things better. It's only going to dig the hole deeper and deeper and deeper until you've lost self-respect, you've lost their respect, and it's irreparable. So, radical acceptance. I hope that helps. And I know that I've had to use it in my own life, and yeah, it's challenging to feel like you've been wronged, or to feel like promises were made and then that person abandoned you, me, whatever. It's very painful. I totally understand that, and I know that pain. But the thing is that if we can't accept what's happening in the moment, I mean, this could be for a health diagnosis or anything. I lost my job and I don't know how I'm going to pay the rent, and that sucks. You can say that again and again. But it's kind of a way to stop that downward spiral of things getting worse, because we can't access problem-solving areas of our brain when we're in that panic mode. So I think that's one of the things that radical acceptance can help us with, is calming us down so that we're able to get to a point where we're not so escalated, we're not in emotion mind, and we can move into a place of wise mind. So yeah, I would encourage you to Google radical acceptance if you want more information about the skill, because I'm just explaining from my own experience. So I hope that that's helpful to you, and I want to send you lots of love. Namaste.